Hello, good morning of students of class 10. As previous day I had given you the summary of 5th chapter, the 100 races part first. Today I am going to start text. In the very first stanza, it is written, today, Monday, Wanda Petronsky was not in her seat. But nobody, not even Peggy and Maddie, the girls who started all the fun, noticed her absence. Usually Wanda sat in the seat next to the last seat in the last row in room 13. She sat in the corner of the room where the rough boys who didn't get good marks sat. The corner of the room where there was most scuffling of feet, most roars of laughter when anything funny was said, and most mud and dirt on the floor. Now I give you the meaning of first stanza. Absence, state of being away. Rough, uncivilized. Scuffling, thumping of feet. Mud, wet and soft. Earthly matters are called mud. In the very first stanza, it is written that it was Monday. Wanda Petronsky was not present in her seat. But nobody, even Maddie and Peggy, who started all the fun, who used to make fun with Wanda Petronsky, didn't notice her absence. Wanda usually sat in the next seat to the last seat in last row in room number 30. She sat in the corner of the room where rough boys who didn't get good marks sat. The corner of that room was where there were most scuffling of feet, most roars of laughter used to come from that corner of the room, even if anything funny was said. There was most dirt and mud on the floor. Come to next stanza. Wanda didn't sit there because she was rough and noisy. As you know, that in that corner, rough boys, noisy boys used to sit, but Wanda didn't sit there because she was rough, she was noisy. On the contrary, on the other hand, she was very quiet and rarely said anything at all. She didn't talk too much. And nobody had ever heard her laugh out loud. That was her attitude. She didn't laugh loud. Sometimes she twisted her mouth into a crooked sort of a smile, and that was all. So we can't say that she used to make noise. Most roars of laughter, no, she was very quiet. Nobody knew exactly if Wanda was not so noisy. Nobody knew exactly why Wanda sat in the seat, unless it was because she came all the way from Bogging Heights. Bogging Heights is the name of a place where Wanda lived, and her feet were usually kept with dry mud. But no one really thought much about Wanda Petronsky once she sat in the corner of the room. Noisy, creating noise, contrary instead, twisted to turn direction in opposition, crooked, wheat, kept coated with, and exactly, precisely. Although Wanda Petronsky used to sit in that corner, but don't think that she was noisy. She was very quiet. She never laughed out loud. As she used to come from bogging heights, as her feet were caked with dry mud, perhaps that was the reason she used to sit in the last row in the corner of the room to hide her feet from rest of the students. The time when they thought about Wanda was outside of school hours. At noon time when they were coming back to school, or in the morning when they were going to school. In the morning, early before school began, when groups of 2 or 3 or even more would be talking and laughing on their way to the school yard. Then sometimes they waited for Wanda to have fun with her. The next day was Tuesday. Wanda was not in school either, and nobody noticed her absence again. Come to the meaning. Yard, open space in a building, notice, to pay attention. Noontime, mid of the day, fun, merriment. The time when they thought about Wanda was either at the time of coming to school in the morning, or at noon at the time of going from school to their homes, when groups of 2 or 3 or more would be talking and laughing on their way to the schoolyard. Then sometime they waited for Wanda Petronsky, as they wanted to have some fun with her. Next day, Wanda was again once absent, and nobody noticed her absence again. Next text, paragraph. But on Wednesday, Peggy and Mattie, who sat down front with other children who got good marks and who didn't track in a whole lot of mud, did notice that Wanda was not there. Peggy was the most popular girl in school. She was pretty, she had many pretty clothes, and her hair was curly. Maddie was her closest friend. The reason Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence was because Wanda had made them late to school. They had waited and waited for Wanda to have some fun with her, and she just hadn't come. Track path, curly, having curl on waves. On Wednesday, Peggy and Mattie, who sat down front with other children who got good marks, who didn't track in a whole lot of mud. Both the girls noticed her absence because today they waited for Wanda Petronsky as they wanted to have some fun with her. But Wanda didn't come. That's why they noticed her absence that day. Next paragraph. Wanda Petronsky. Most of the children in room 30 didn't have names like that. They had names easy to say, like Thomas, Smith, or Ellen. There was one boy named Bounce, Willie Bounce, and people thought that was funny. But not funny in the same way that Petronsky was. Petronsky was funnier than Willie Bounce. Wanda didn't have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. It was clean, but it looked as though it had never been ironed properly. She didn't have any friends, but a lot of girls talked to her. Sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as she stood watching the little girls play hopscotch on the worn hard ground. Come to the meaning. Fade, dullness of color is fade. Iron, surrounded, covered, and worn uneven surface is cornwall. Wanda Petronsky's name was different, as most of the children had names which was easy to call, like Thomas Smith or Ellen. There was one boy whose name was Willie Bones. People thought, children thought his name was funny, but not so funnier as Wanda Petronsky. As you know, Wanda didn't have any friends. She came to school alone, went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that didn't hang right. It looked clean, but he thought it had never been ironed properly. Although she didn't have friends, but a lot of girls wanted to talk to her. As sometimes they surrounded her in the schoolyard as they wanted to make fun of her. When Wanda used to watch the little girls play hopscotch, at that time they surrounded her and started asking several questions. Previous day I had given you outline. Today I have completed some of the paragraphs. Next day we will continue the rest of the paragraphs. Thanking all of you. Have a nice day.